Welcome back everyone to week 3 of the Ravenhall Cup, where we're going to go through the games that were in week 3. Many of the games are moving on to week 4 now, but let's look at week 3 in review. So what we have was the Fat Crackers at home to the St. Albans Flamers. Now that was a 0-all game. 2 casualties on the Flamers. Done by the Ogre, very good from the Fat Crackers. 3 Snotlings actually pushed an Orc Blitzer into the crowd, and that guy was KO'd by the crowd. And the Fat Crackers themselves received 2 casualties, 1 to the Ogre and a Snotling. The Ogre was fine and will be back next game, but the Snotling received an armor break, probably missing next game, and really wondering whether they're going to keep him on the team. A little bit worried, I think. Alright, we're yet to hear from the Safari Coast Bombers and the Hillside Dragons. There is some concern over those 2 teams not reporting in. So we've sent out the Hoods to actually find out what's been going on with those 2 teams. Alright, we have West End Chaos Warriors, who were home to the Diggers. At home, they lost to the Diggers. Diggers proving to be a very efficient and grindy team, even home and away. Warriors suffered 2 casualties, missed next game and niggling injuries, all by the Diggers Troll Slayer. How great is that, hey? Tough slog of a game where the Diggers were able to take control with 2 TDs in the second half. So, interesting one there where the Warriors were able to keep them scoreless for the first half, but Diggers, mate, they dig right in and get the job done, and they're proving it time and time again. Next game we had the Vandals hosted the Chef's Knuckle Sandwich to a 2-all draw. Unexpected, they just could not get it done. Ended in 2-all draw. No serious injuries on both teams, but a really good game overall that was reported. Honestly, if there were no kills, no winner, what the hell is going on, guys? Get in there, start injuring, start maiming, start scoring, yeah? What's this draw business with no casualties? Do better next time, yeah? Alright, we've got the Hackers versus the Doombolts. The Doombolts, the newly announced team within the league. Dark Elf team coming in, adopting the record from the previous team that they took over, which, you know what, the name has been stricken from the records for this league, so we can't even remember it right now. But the Hackers at home went down to the newly shown Doombolts 2-0. Nurgle dealt 3 casualties, including a death, which became a new rotter. So even though they did lose the game, they got 1 over on the Dark Elves, taking one of their players for their own team. The Dark Elves themselves dealt 1 casualty and had a completed pass on a stretch play TD on the last turn. So yeah, really exciting game. Good to see a casualty. Way to go, Hackers. Good on you, Doombolts, for taking out that first win. And finally in week 3, the Puff Peak Pacifists hosted the Evansburg Distinguished Daredevils, and what a game that was. We're on hand to see most of that game. Now, get this, the score, Puff Peak Pacifists 3 to the Devils 1. So at home, the Pacifists did the job, 3-1, taking it out. Now the Daredevils, they suffered 5 casualties, but all back next game. Crazy. Do better, Pacifists. What is going on? Living up to their name, hurting but not injuring. What's going on? What has Blood Bowl come to? Alright. Now, what happened there? The Puff Peak Pacifists, they also had a dead troll on their team, but he regenerated. So, what the hell is going on in this game? Yeah, it was a tight game, but no deaths, just a lot of injuries, which is great for the crowds and that, but to really get them over the line, we need those deaths, people. Alright, Puff Peak Pacifists, number 4, Blitz. The Blitzer, which is his name, mind you, got 3 touchdowns all by himself. We're going to see him skilling up pretty soon, no doubt. Just watch for him in future games, and no doubt he's going to be a target for many of the other coaches going down the line. Will there be a price put on his head? Who knows? Let's see how the league continues. And for the Daredevils, the only TD scorer was Stephen the Heathen with his 1 touchdown. Overall, a pretty clean game, which is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Alright. Now, if we're going to look at the ladder in this, let me see if I can get that up for you all. Alright. Alright, this is the updated ladder. Pacifist still on top with the Diggers in second. Dragons coming in third. Hotly followed by the Flamers. And the Fat Crackers. The Flamers do have an extra game up on there, as do the Chaos Warriors, the Vandals, and the Daredevils, unfortunately taking out the Wooden Spoons so far. So with the Puff Peak Pacifists with 8-4 and only 2 against, they are above the Diggers. It is going to be a close-knit affair, but look at that. The Diggers haven't had a TD scored against them. Who is going to be that team, yeah? When we look at week 4, Diggers are taking on the Hackers. Will the Hackers be able to score a TD against them? Oh, the odds do not look good. They've had 1 scored for them and 5 against. Not looking good at all. But let's see the odds for this week going into week 4. We've got the Diggers versus the Hackers. I give the Diggers odds on favourite. I'll give 5-1 odds on that one. I don't see the Hackers pulling that out. Daredevils versus the Vandals. That was an interesting game, as you can see the result there. Pacifists versus the Bombers. I'm putting the Pacifists up there as 4-1 odds on winning that. I'm not going to count the Safri Bombers out just yet. They are in the middle of the line. They have 2-4, 3 against. I just think the Pacifists are going to take it out easy, but not as easy as the Diggers will. Alright, we've had the Flamers and the Warriors game. We won't talk about that. Actually, we'll hide it. And we've got the Doombolts versus the Shuffknuckle Sandwich. Doombolts looking to prove themselves in this league and move up the ladder, while the Chef's Knuckle Sandwich, well, who knows what the Halflings are out there doing, throwing things around, causing chaos. But guys, let's get those injuries up there. The Doombolts are down 1 player. Let's see how we go. And finally, the Dragons versus the Fat Crackers. That's probably going to be my game of the week. Dragons versus the Crackers. Let's take a look at it. Dragons 3 versus 5. I think that's going to be a rip-roaring game. The Dragons are home to the Fat Crackers. So, yeah, very interesting game. Let's see what happens there. So, I'll just get back into you. Alright, so thank you everyone for joining me for this week 3 update. Stay tuned for week 4. I'm going to get onto all the games, all the coaches' backs, and make sure that they're playing so I can update you a lot quicker. And hopefully we see a lot more injuries and a lot more touchdowns. Have a great one, guys. See ya.